Hi, I'm Brew Pearce, the founder of Envisionation. We're whole earth system specialists, and accordingly we spend a lot of time talking about climate change. And it's remarkable how many misconceptions there are about how the Earth's climate has changed over time. So let me take you through it and try and put it in perspective. First off, congratulations. The fact that you're watching this means you're part of an unbroken chain of events that's 4 billion years long. Yeah, your DNA goes all the way back, generation by generation, for 4 billion years. And it took an awful long time to move from a lump of coagulated space junk, the remnants of ancient galaxies and stars that have gone through their life cycles, to turn it into the world that we have around us today. Everything you see has been built by life, and life has evolved its own environment as it itself has evolved. It was a long, slow process, 3 billion years to create any sort of atmosphere that we could have thought about living in. Prior to that, you'd have needed a spacesuit to be on planet Earth. Now, the Earth has gone through a series of cycles and different times. 750 million years ago, snowball Earth, the whole thing was frozen down and it warmed again and then it froze again. And then life took hold and the great forests arrived, which resulted in the coal and the hydrocarbons we have now. And then we moved on and the first vertebrate animals occur. And then we get to the dinosaurs and they come to their demise 65 million years ago or so. So let me put a little more detail on it. 4 billion year timeline. Not much happening for an awful long time. And then we come around here and we reach a point where all the continents that exist now are stuck together in a single supercontinent and they gradually separate. We come around here to the time of the dinosaurs when you're beginning to see the sort of shapes that we have of the continents on the planet now. But it's not really until we get to around 5 million years ago that the continents are laid out in a shape that we'd recognize. The ocean circulations are as we would see them, and the planet's climate is very much as we would see it. There's an awful lot of life on it. So over that time, and here are the changes, these are the bits that are relevant to us, this last 5 million years, and particularly the last 10 million years, are represented down here. Now the scale on this changes. So we go right out here to 60 million years ago, a very much hotter climate, 10 degrees warmer than we are now. This is dinosaur era, no ice on the planet. Come back to around 40 million years ago, and first glaciation is taking place in Antarctica. Move on to 10 million years ago, and it's just 2 degrees warmer than it is now. And a little bit beyond that, we've got the glaciation beginning to occur in the northern hemisphere. And we go on through here. These are millions of years apart. And we get to about 2 million years ago, and something happened because the temperature starts to oscillate on these 100,000 year cycles. Probably some large asteroid went whizzing through our solar system and gave the Earth's orbit a bit of a rock, and it's continued to wobble over 100,000 years. And here we are, we've moved on to 100,000 year scale. These are the last 5 ice ages. Down here, the depth of an ice age, it's about 2.5 degrees to 3 degrees cooler than what we were used to here. At the height of an ice age, we get up to, the warmest period, the interglacials, we get up to about the temperatures we have now and a little bit above, maybe 1.5 degrees max. And we move forward through these cycles. Now, it's important to understand that this is the period of the planet you would understand, and you would know, and you would recognize the lions and the tigers and the elephants and the blue tits and the little birds and the fishes, at least some of them, because many of them have gone extinct over this period. But, it's a time that's relevant to you. Now notice that most of the time, the planet is very much cooler than our 10,000 years of civilization's development, which took place in the Holocene here. So actually, everything that lives on the planet now is more naturally evolved to a planet which is 1, 2 degrees cooler than it is now, and possibly dealing with as much as 3 degrees cooler. Just so putting that in perspective. And then as a reminder, we're now at 1.5 degrees warmer than the pre-industrial average. At 2 degrees, which we're heading for, and we're going to be there by 2035, maybe before, we're at a point where actually the northern hemisphere's ice is gone. And at 4 degrees warmer, which we are on track for if we don't change, business as usual, there's no ice on the planet at all. And at that point, sea levels are going to be 70 meters higher than they are now. So expanding on the previous slide, this is the last 400,000 years, i.e. the last 4 ice age cycles. So what have we got? We've got temperature, which is what you were looking at on the last one, and general warming, but we go from the last interglacial down into an ice age, and then fairly rapidly up to the interglacial and our Holocene. CO2 levels over that time have tracked along with temperature pretty clearly, and we come to the point now, and these are this is the normal 280 parts per million level of CO2. This is the CO2 levels here, right? 280 to 300 parts per million. Now what you notice is we are way above that now. We're now at 426 parts per million. And if you come down and look at sea level over that time, you can see the sea level going up and down as the planet warms and cools. It goes through its ice age cycles. And we come back here to the last one. We drop down 100 meters lower than it is now, and gradually we come up to our Holocene level. But actually, of course, we're on our way to a period where there was no ice on the planet, and that takes sea levels 70 meters higher. Now, it's going to take some time for the ice to melt, but even a few meters of sea level rise is absolutely catastrophic for human civilization. So I hope that puts a little more light on the way things are actually changing and points out how really devastating our current CO2 levels and greenhouse gas warming impacts are likely to be. Anyway, feel free to put your questions in the comments below, and thanks very much for listening. Please visit our website for further detail. That's at www.envisionation.org.